How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video. And with this one, well, I'm kind of doing a follow-up to the Stellar Blade topic video that I did about earlier on. And ever since that video, and just periodically check on the internet, a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been giving their thoughts, their opinions. A lot of people really kind of calling out a lot of the like journalists, and a lot of actually, if anything, one big thing is a lot of them are calling out Microsoft as well. But a lot of people are calling out some of these journalists and some of these people that are, claiming that the game itself, not even focusing on, anything other than, no. Or, I'm sorry to correct myself. Not even focusing on, gameplay, story, characters, etc. Only focusing on how tight the outfit is on Eve. Like, that is their main concern. That's their one hiccup, and their one thing that they can't let go of. So first, I do want to make a correction, but with the point of this video is to go over more thoroughly some of the things that I referenced in the last one, as well as some additional stuff that has come up, which I find to be hilarious. And giving my thoughts and opinions on some of it. So, anyways, the correction. Now, before we go into the first part of this, or at least the first article that I referenced, there was a point where IGN had tried to call out the company or the creator of Stellar Blade, claiming that due to the design of Eve, that IGN assumed that the creator had never seen a real woman, only for the creator to fire back and make mention that the character was modeled after his wife. So I need to make a correction there. So it wasn't the creator's wife that the character was modeled after. It was an actual model in I think it was like North Korea. So by the way, it's even made funnier when people try to claim that, oh, this isn't a real body type. You guys are so clueless. Again, it's not just one body type that a lot of you assume that everybody should be. Every person is different. Each person has their own body type. And for a lot of people in areas like, Asia, like North Korea, South Korea, many other countries like that, where beauty is paramount, a lot of women are or do look like that. So the character is based or are based on scans from a actual model, and the creator's wife was part of the art team, the art lead. So I need to make that correction, because I initially said it was scanned after the wife, but I was wrong on that count. So anyway, let's go ahead and begin and look at the first article. And this is from, oh my gosh, this is from Bounding into Comics. Oh, this should be fun. Alright, so this particular article is called Microsoft Publishers' New Inclusive Guide for Video Game Devs recommends against creating female characters with exaggerated body proportions. This was made by or written by Spencer Bakuli. Hopefully I've said that right. And it reads, during their part to push the entire medium ever further towards a final form as a pile of boring and uninspired mush, Microsoft has released a new product inclusion guideline for video game developers, which, in addition to a number of other such recommendations aimed to appease the terminally online, notably suggests that creators completely abstain from depicting any sexualized or unrealistic female characters within their works. Made public on March 20th as part of the company's appearance at the recent 2024 Game Developers Conference, Microsoft's new gaming for every product inclusion framework calls on developers to actively consider 4 specific areas when creating a new title. Those being, as per the framework's official website, approachability, which ensures all players, existing or new, experienced and novice, feel safe and welcome. Representation is about reflecting the diversity of the player and creator community, so everyone can feel that they belong. Globalization is about making global players feel at home and ensuring that their experience has local relevance and respect. Accessibility is about making games and experiences playable for people with disabilities, striving to make products accessible by design from the ground up. Okay, I can understand the last one, but with the other ones, I mean, again, I have to ask. There was a point in history in the previous years where people were just allowed to create the games they want to create with no problems, no issues, and they just, wanted to create video games. And people allowed them. But now it just seems like certain individuals are being pandered to, I should say. And unfortunately, certain feelings are, I guess, are trumping, what gamers, and by the way, I'm not just claiming white gamers, all gamers will want. And I should also point out too that in terms of gaming, just like the title of my last video, it's subjective. So everybody isn't gonna have the same taste as the next person. They're not. And if you think that that's the case, then you're dead wrong, and you shouldn't be in this industry. In service of promoting these values, Microsoft also released a product inclusion action guide for developers to follow in order to keep their titles sufficiently progressive and unoffensive. Having your story told is a universal human need, but for many in marginalized communities or in markets outside of the US, it's rare to be represented in media, let alone games. And as a result, some people could feel like a secondary consumer for our content. Writes the Xbox parent company. Where's my
You
button?
are made of
There we go.
stupid.
There. I just want to make sure that button was working. But anyway. So, 80% of media consumed by the world is created in the US, and yet most media, including video games, don't contain characters and content that align to the broad consumer. To this end, Microsoft has presented developers with a set of 10 questions to consider when it came to their projects in order to ensure that we're properly inclusive. Okay. Are you telling new stories or sharing new perspectives within the product experience? Do all of your characters / player depictions look the same? I don't like that one. Like, look, what does it mean by look the same? Like, do all the characters have to look the same as in terms of appearance, or like what are you trying to say with that? Because if you're trying to make people seem like a collective, then what's the point of following a game where the characters all look the same? Next, what steps have you taken to ensure characters are represented respectfully and authentically? How have you validated assumptions you have made about your audience to check for blind spots and unintended stereotypes? Okay. Would you feel proud to show a member of a community how their culture or / character is depicted within your experience? How are the wide range of customers depicted within your product? It's fiction. Why does it fucking matter how they're depicted? Like, really? Content portfolio and communications. What process have you used to validate how different groups of people or cultures are represented in your experience? What percentage of screen time, on-screen presence, speaking lines, heroes, is held by different gender / racial identities? That's where it's coming down to, by the way. The fact that in terms of like people creating, like in terms of creating a character, and again, the focus, usually in terms of like a movie, TV show, video game, etc., book, the focus has always been character, story, setting. Now all of a sudden the focus is about the character's gender and the representation for their gender and representation for their racial identity. That should not... I mean, that could be something that could be added on, but that should not be the main focus. And if that's what you just focus on with the characters, especially with a lot of games recently doing that, then your characters are dull and boring. Because again, if you only use that as their identity, there's nothing else to them, then what's the point of playing a game with those characters? Alright, continuing. Do you have a process to review key decisions with a lens of helping customers feel seen? Are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Okay, continuing. Apologize, I had to take a quick call. I shouldn't have done that. I wish I could have that on silent, but it is work, so... Anyway, now, continuing. Expanding on this last question, Microsoft presented 3 additional sub-questions for devs to consider. Oh joy. Particularly in regards to their female character designs. Okay. Are you unnecessarily introducing gender or gender barriers into your code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Do you have, or do they have exaggerated body proportions? When the story allows, do you show male characters show display a full range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability? It's objection. Okay, it's very odd. It's very odd that that you have certain, people in the gaming industry, or like the higher ups, that are writing this crap, thinking that male characters don't display emotions. Which, by the way, I find it funny that, like, they show up, like, especially for an example, they have a picture of like Kate from Gears of War 5. So, and by the way, toward the ending part of Gears of War 5 is bullshit, I should say, because now I'm going to have to play that game twice. But anyways, making my point, there is a situation where, and by the way, spoilers for those who have never played Gears of War 5, Kate's mother is brought back as as the leader, the new leader for the Swarm, and she captures Marcus's son and his best friend. Both are really good characters, and by the way, each of them both going through their own range of emotions throughout the game. But in this moment, you're basically made to choose who lives and who dies. So you kill one of them, and then in terms of, depending on which one you kill, the impact is much greater for, like, the character Marcus, as well as the other characters that are around. If the son dies, Marcus, after hearing the news, is absolutely fucking distraught, knowing that his son just died. So it's bullshit that some of these companies, some of these people in the gaming industry try, like, just assume that male characters don't feel emotions. Another good example, love it or hate it as you, if you wish, but in terms of Halo 4, where they went for a more emotional route for Master Chief, made him less of a tank than he was in the previous games, and had him broken down just a little bit, really added to the character. Especially when, by the way, in another situation, his longest known friend and companion dies right in front of him. And then, actually, if anything, following up to that, let's talk about Halo Infinity if we can, where during that game, he is tasked to work with another AI, which, by the way, is an exact copy of Cortana, and for the entire time is very, very, like, restrictive in terms of, like, interacting with this AI, because he still has that connection with Cortana. Even going as far as, when this AI was in trouble, immediately just going for the deletion button or the deletion codes. So in terms of, so she doesn't get captured and he can continue the mission. if Cortana was around and if Cortana didn't betray him, he probably would have saved her. It should be noted that while Microsoft did cite 4 studies regarding representation and support of their arguments, all of them are extremely flawed in their methodologies. Though the Diamond Lobby study claims that there is a stark lack of diversity in the overall gaming sphere, and its findings are based solely on a surface level look at the 10 highest selling games between 2017 and 2021. Further, not only does the report fail to specify by which metric they determined the highest selling games, amount of money pulled in, or amount of units sold, but it also does not name any of the specific titles outside of Apex Legends, which is put forth as the most diverse game that we're looked at. Okay. Then there's the Gina Davis study, which was published. Grab my big old jug. Which was published in 2021. The study not only takes particular issue with the long disproven idea that video games can directly inspire an individual to real-world violence, but it's also extremely disingenuous in making its arguments. For example, in support of the study's claim that gaming communities are rife with identity-based prejudice, harassment, and bullying that are ultimately harmful to boys and young men, the Gina Davis Institute cites such facts as streamers used some variation of the obvious language, crazy, in 1 in 5 gaming or gameplay segments, and nearly 1 in 4 male characters express anger. Alright, moving on. As for the 2 News Zoo studies, their results are called in to the question by fact that not only is its information based entirely on self-responses, but the conclusions they extrapolate from this data are completely out of pocket. Look no further than the fact that in their 2022 report, as produced in partnership with the Anti-Defamation League, the organization claims that roughly 12% of respondents reported that they had been on the receiving end of a swatting call. In the report, the ADL and News Zoo assert that their information is based on a nationally representative sample of nearly 100 million American adult gamers. And that's not even counting their teenage respondents. Meaning, should one follow their information to its present conclusion, means that at least 19,400,000 players in the US have experienced this phenomenon. I so far has not been swatted, but that's probably because 1, I don't stream unless it's the weekends, and 2, in terms of, that kind of stuff, I do a lot of my videos and content, just record my stuff, upload it. I streaming, I'll go into like another day for another topic. I've always had my thoughts about streaming. But anyways, however, as they admitted at the end of their report, their information truly only represents the 2,134 Americans who play games across PC, console, and mobile platforms that they actually sampled. So, as of writing, which devs will inevitably use Microsoft's guide as an actual reference document remains to be seen. So, let's talk about that for a second. So, in terms of Microsoft and this new inclusion thing that they're trying to do or trying to pass, it seems that especially when it comes to like what they're trying to do, what they're trying to enforce, is based on what a lot of people like. By the way, doing the research seems to be bogus information, bogus research, and for the most part is trying to enforce gaming companies to basically create games their way and not the way that the gaming company themselves want to create. I keep going back to the whole, art is subjective thing for a reason, because so far, like over time, like in the past, I would say more so in the past. Again, gaming companies have been allowed to create games the way they want to create them, however they want to do it. And again, if you don't like the game, you don't have to buy it and you don't have to play it. Not everything is for one individual. Not everything is for a collective. There's going to be certain people that are fans of a particular game and certain people that aren't fans. And that's okay. You don't have to buy it. Anyway. And this, I would say that this whole thing with Microsoft trying to, push and force companies to act a certain way is very, very, very disheartening, I should say. There's another word I was trying to pick, but I couldn't think of it. But it's concerning. There we go. It's again, you have people that want to create games, that enjoy creating games, that want to, release their product, and you have companies like Microsoft now that are going to be like, oh wait, it doesn't have representation, throw it in the trash because it doesn't follow our guidelines. And people wonder why some of these companies are going to Sony. But anyway, I could be wrong though. We'll see. But let's look at another article where oh boy, this one's gonna be fun. Oh, this is gonna be really, really fun. Okay, so this one is from the Mary Sue, and it is titled "Stellar Blade's Design Isn't the Problem." Again, continuing this theme with Stellar Blade and people, not liking the character design. Stellar Blade's design isn't the problem. It's how creepy men are being about it. Alright, so, anywho. A new live-action adventure game, Stellar Blade, is on its way to releasing for PlayStation 5. However, controversy over the game has arisen due to men being creepy about the lead character, Eve. Of course, men being creepy about female characters is nothing new. The hypersexualization of women in media, from TV to movies to video games, is a decades-old ongoing issue. However, it is especially a problem in video games, as it estimates about 61% of those working in the gaming industry are male. Additionally, although and by the way, it's I like the that you point out. You know, it's you know the percentage for just the men, but why not bring up the fact that women are working on these games too? Anyway, additionally, although it has been found that women now make up for half of the gaming community, there are misconceptions that gamers are still predominantly male. Hence, from Lara Croft to Bayonetta, women in video games have consistently been heavily sexualized to appeal to men. In terms of some of these arguments, I find it really hilarious when, the only thing that's focused on is, that I'm not saying that it's hypersexualizing women is okay, or in any way, whatever. But my point is, the point I'm trying to make is, we focus on one gender, but we've had characters, especially since the beginning of television, where you have men in, loose clothing, wearing nothing but a bathing suit for women. In terms of certain comics, men dressing up in sometimes flamboyant, if barely any clothes. Or if anything, in certain scenarios, you have the Justice League, where a lot of the men are very barrel-chested, which, I don't know. Would that count as sexualizing a man? I don't know. I'm just saying. Seems kind of hypocritical, if you ask me. But anyway, going further. Fortunately, in recent years, video games have done better at portraying women in a more balanced way. That's subjective, I would say. If anything, in a few cases, a few of women characters have been kind of bland. But that's just me. Unfortunately, the presence of a few women in video games who aren't exactly what these men want to see has only resulted in escalating their creepiness. Okay. According to conservative men, not approaching the creation of every female character in video games in a way that appeals directly to them is woke. And some deeply disturbed men have taken to going on public rants about it. Recently, conservatives formulate a conspiracy theory that Sweet Baby Inc. was behind improving the treatment of women in video games and inclusion of diverse characters, resulting in them boycotting the company. There's more to it than that, but that's another topic for another day. There's quite a bit more going on with the Sweet Baby Company, but you guys are going to play it off as if, they're just, men are being men, so to speak. Men are being creepy. They want to attack a company. You're downplaying what they're actually doing. You're being disingenuous. Why am I getting a lot of ads for Daz 3D? But anyway. Additionally, in their Sweet Baby Inc. detection Discord, men were praising Stellar Blade for being traditional instead of woke. With its female lead protagonist, anything that gets the approval of male conservative extremists is bound to give anyone pause. I actually know. Can I take a step back? Can I take a step back for a second? What's the point of what's the point of this comment right here? Conservative. What is the point of making that remark? Now, if I remember, like, that's more of, like, leaning towards the right. So it's like, why make that remark? If anything, it's more so to try to like, set it up as, oh, these people are unstable and they're part of this community. And why call them extremists, too? It's like, it's oh my gosh. There's a line I want to use, but I want to wait. I want to wait for a little bit because I want to see what this says. Male conservative extremist is bound to give anyone pause, and the creators soon confirmed that one is right to be hesitant about Stellar Blade. Why is Stellar Blade controversial? It's not. You guys are trying to make it as it is, but it's not. Ever since the marketing for Stellar Blade, it has been abundantly clear that men are going to be gross about it. When the gameplay overview was released, the comments were overtaken with commenters fawning over the lead character and declaring it the best game ever, solely for the protagonist's design. Meanwhile, Eve has become an anti-woke symbol for conservatives. Again, why make that comment? Of course, one could argue that the game's developer, Shift Up, can't control men being gross online. And one can really call them out for hyper-sexualizing women without calling out the entire industry. Moving forward. However, game director Hyung, hopefully I say this correctly, Hyung Tae Kim raised eyebrows when he said of Eve's design. When it comes to the design, we put special attention on the back of the character because the player is always facing the back of the character when they're playing. That's what they say or see the most of. So we thought this was pretty important. It's already quite strange to hear a director highlighting the extra emphasis that went into a female character's rear. He also doubled down on the sexualization of women in video games, stating, which, by the way, hold on, really quick. I want to see. So, he said, so if this is correct, where he says, attention on the back. So, you're focusing on the back of the character. Now, I know some people are going to think I'm naive or anything, but he didn't say ass. He didn't say their butt. He said the back of the character. So, in terms of what the creator is saying, they are basically using his words against him. And at this point, trying to claim that he is over-sexualizing these characters. Alright, continuing. Stating that, honestly, when I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. That's what I want. I don't want to see something normal. I want to see something more ideal. I think that is very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted for adults. It's important to note that the problem with this whole debacle is not about Eve's design. Some have claimed that those concerned about this situation are shaming the model that Eve was based on or suggesting that women shouldn't embrace their sexuality, which is usually the case. But it's not what we're saying. It's exactly what you're saying. The problem is quite simple. A game developer and thousands of internet users are bluntly describing Eve as an ideal woman. the only woman that men want to see. Hypersexualizing in video games is a problem because it pushes the idea that there is only one ideal body type, and that women should be judged on how well they adhere to it. If I could ask a very, very simple question, especially since, on the other end we have Microsoft, claiming that they're doing this whole inclusion thing, this new inclusion guideline. Isn't that exactly what companies like Microsoft are doing right now, in terms of, telling people what particular type of characters they want in games? So why is that okay? But in terms of, a company or a creator saying, this is the character I want to create for my game, why is that bad? And stuff like Microsoft is okay. I'm quite curious, because it just seems like it's a double standard. Anyways, continuing. Some have also pointed out that Stellar Blade's design is actually tame in comparison to the company's other games. It has stirred controversy in the past with its highly sexualized female characters, particularly in games like Goddess of Victory, Nikki. Still, the fact that Stellar Blade isn't as bad as it could be doesn't make up for the increasingly creepy comments and behavior arising around this game. Perhaps if all body types and women were represented in video games, it wouldn't be such an issue. However, Stellar Blade is an example of how male developers continually push only their narrow views of what women should look like into video games. Again, how is it that what this company is doing is bad for their characters and their games? But in terms of, Microsoft forcing game developers to only create a certain select, basically a collective of characters, of what one type of character for everyone. How is that good and this is bad? If anything, in terms of what I'm seeing, in terms of these people, they're breaking the mold. And I think that's the issue. That's the issue. Additionally, it's just very strange how video games supposedly have to have these ideal characters because they're adult entertainment. There are plenty of other outlets where men can access adult content. However, wait. What do you mean by that comment? Wait, hold on. I want to know about this. I want to ask about this particular comment right here. What do you mean? There are plenty of outlets where men can access adult content. Like what? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to go to Chatterbait, Pornhub, go to freaking what's another, pretty much, would you want them to go there to try to validate your claim that, men are pigs? Seriously? Is that what they're trying to say with that comment? There are other outlets for men to access adult content. Like, what the... Like, what does that mean? I mean, I think we all know what it means. Oh my gosh, I gotta save that. That is fucking hilarious. Oh my gosh. However, this pushes to turn video games solely into adult content for men. While ignoring other audiences is outright bizarre. It's suggesting that despite men having specific outlets for their content, it now needs to inject into all media to cater solely to them. You know what's even hilarious about this whole situation? Is the fact that women have also, said that they like the character's design. Gosh, this is so fucking hilarious. It is. It really is. To being this disingenuous. While some amount of fan service is understandable for success, it feels very weird to specifically became to misogynistic men who get triggered if they see a woman in a video game who doesn't look exactly how they want. It's hard to see how people don't find it creepy that men seemingly can't enjoy video games or won't be entertained if they can't see their version of an ideal woman. I certainly have never heard a woman going on an unhinged rant because she feels personally attacked by what men look like in a video game. I find it funny that they claim unhinged. They want to add unhinged as if, but people, certain women have gone on rants about the way women or men look in video games. You don't talk about that though. You have people that actually have, you have women that actually agree with the design for this particular character, and for the game developer's right to create a character like this. One particular channel that I follow on and off is Vara, who does gaming topic videos or gaming news. And she did a video of this particular situation. And some of the things she says, I totally agree with. And I would say that in terms of the game itself, the game developer creating whatever game they want, she's all for that. And by the way, that is a woman saying those things. I'll leave a link in the description for her video so you guys can watch it. But going further, it also feels very dangerous to be a woman and have men increasingly pushing this idea that any woman who doesn't look like a hyper-sexualized video game character is woke, triggering, and deserving of their hatred. Oh my gosh. So that was... So I guess the next one is about Sweet Baby Inc. But we'll talk about that one later. But alright. Quick thoughts about this particular article. So I look at this article and I feel like you have individuals who are activists. So not journalists, activists who are being very specific on how they word things and trying to display men who disagree as conservative and unhinged, as well as trying to over-sexualize women. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the wording that the person who wrote this article uses. It's something that seems very disingenuous. And in terms of like this whole situation of men wanting the ideal character, it seems kind of disingenuous as well as hypocritical, especially when game companies, journalists as well as activists have repeatedly tried to push their own ideas on what they want for characters. An article like this is very hypocritical, and in terms of, trying to claim that the men are creepy for, appreciating or, liking a design for a character seems, again, very, very, very disingenuous. So, in terms of the Mary Sue in their article, yeah, no, you guys are not journalists, you guys are activists. Moving forward. Okay, so far, I have showcased, in terms of this, both sides of, I want to say, it's with one side being the Mary Sue, one side being the other article, discussing their points of view in terms of the representation of characters, or female characters to be specific. Actually, if anything, with Microsoft more going forward to the gender and racial representation, and basically you having the Mary Sue go out of their way to try every kind of game in the book to try to shun and shame people that either appreciate or want to try to give a game a shot. And the only reason they're attacking is because of one female character. But anyway, we're going to look at this one video from Hero High. And it's Stellar Blade is causing immense rage on Twitter. Oh joy.
We've got a very fun one today. So first of all, have you guys heard of this new game, Stellar Blade, coming out on April 26th? There's like the little 7-second teaser they posted at PlayStation over on Twitter. I don't really know much about this game myself. I just saw it in the news recently, but there's a little bit more info on it. Now, personally...
Okay, first off, I want to say this. If you guys have not seen my demo video already, I played the demo. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'm very curious of how the story goes for this game. By the way, my main focus was never about how Eve looked. It was the combat, setting, and the world. So let's go.
I don't even have a PlayStation. I also don't have an Xbox. I'm mostly a PC gamer exclusively. I do have a Switch, but like I said, I mostly just PC game. So I don't know too much about this game, but it's interesting because apparently some of the anti-gaming crowd is...
Okay. Stellar Blade is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Shift Up and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The game is scheduled to be released for PlayStation 5 on April 26, 2024.
Upset at this game for having some like fan servicey women in the game, and they're offended by that or something. It's quite odd. Oh, yeah. There was also a little situation where there were apparently 2 women at the company who were causing issues at the company, and then they were fired. And they later went on to claim that they were fired for being feminists. And yeah, that's...
Okay, so I want to say this. So far, doing my research and like collecting these articles and stuff to give my points, I have not seen anything about that. So if you find any articles about that, let me know, and I'll do a video on it or something. I don't know. But I haven't heard anything about that, of, you know, a couple of the people being feminists or being fired for that.
Got some people upset at the game as well. So yeah, on one hand, you got people upset with the game for those reasons. And on the other hand, you have other people upset with the game for reasons like this guy. I was tagged to this situation by Hikarino Yumi. Thank you very much for the tag. We got this dude, Kareem.
Okay, so I want to talk about this guy for a second. Kareem Jovian. Jovian? So supposedly he claims to be an actor, director, whatever. There's more to it, and we'll get to that after we go through Hero High's video. Because, oh my gosh, this guy has such a bad take for this entire thing.
Who's apparently like an actor or something. I don't know. You look him up, it says like actor and like director. But anyways.
Actually, you know, screw it. I'm just gonna pull the Band-Aid off. He's a fucking YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. And in fact, when I get the opportunity, I will actually want to look at some of his stuff.
So, what's going on here? Let's take a look from the top. So, Kareem had said, the graphics of Stellar Blade and gameplay looks great. Albeit, I can't get past the over-sexualization of Stellar Blade. It would have been passable if their female characters didn't have the faces of a dang child. Really freaking weird. And if you find this arousing, you need to get all your hard drives and phones checked by the FBI.
Trying to claim that anybody who appreciates the design for Eve may or may not be a P-bear. So, anyway.
And then in a follow-up tweet, he said this. I find stuff like this funny. I can bet a good amount of cash that Avowed will have an incredible cast of characters and story. Stellar Blade just has a stellar behind. That's about it.
Avowed. What's Avowed again? Hold on. Quick switch over.
It's a response from...
Hold on. Before I continue playing that, what is Avowed? Avowed. What is that? I've heard that once or twice. What is it? Avowed is set in a fictional world of Era that was first introduced to players in the Pillars of Eternity franchise. Avowed is a first-person... I'm going to have to look this up further in Steam. A mysterious... okay. So this is a new dialogue. Welcome to the living lands of a mysterious island filled with adventure and danger, fiction, or set in a fictional world of Era that was first introduced in two players in the Pillars of Eternity franchise. Avowed is a first-person fantasy action RPG from the award-winning team at Obsidian Entertainment. You are the envoy of Aden, a distant land sent to investigate rumors of a spreading plague throughout the living lands. An island full of mysteries and secrets, dangers and adventures. The choices and consequences. And untamed wilderness. You discover a personal connection to the living lands and an ancient secret that threatens to destroy everything. Can you save this unknowing frontier and your soul from the forces of... So, looking at some of the images as well as some of the video, I'm gonna pull it up on so you guys can see it. But can I make these bigger? But looking at it, I would have to guess. So it's an RPG. So more likely, this game is going to have a lot of substance. There's going to be a lot of side quests, a lot of side material. And more likely, it's going to be a game where you can basically create a character that you want to create. So I don't understand the comparison. Because if anything, you're going to have a singular story with one particular character that you're following, to a game where you could be basically anyone and anything. And more than likely, go through a variety of different side quests and adventures. So it's I would say it's close to like comparing apples to oranges in terms of like comparing Stellar Blade to this Avowed. It looks cool. I might check it out. I haven't. I mean, it's weird because I haven't even heard about it till now. So, like I said, it's like comparing apples to oranges.
Flavio, which says, "This is not the way to judge games, my brudda." Could have said the same thing about Nier Automata or other, but they're very good games. To which Cream then responds and says, "True. Like I said, graphically and combat-wise, it looks great. But I can't get past their faces looking like little girls."
It's weird that so far it's been the only him that's been saying that. Like, nobody else. And unfortunately, due to genetics, individuals in the Asian community usually look a lot younger at an older age. So, yeah.
It's weird. Either way, we will see how they turn out when they are released. And that once again takes me to the tag I got, which says, another dude thinks an Asian adult woman looks like a child. You know, it's strange that this is not the first...
Oh, shit. Okay, no, I'm gonna...
Oh, shit! Burn! Burn!
That deserves it. That deserves it.
Time this has happened. It's strange that this happens on occasion, time and time again. Like, I don't know what these people are trying to say, but I don't think it's the take that they want it to be. People pointed out how weird Cream is being over this, and his response was like, "It's a dang CG character." To which people then pointed out that she's based off a real-life model. They did like a whole scan of her and everything. And I looked more into this, and I guess her name is Shin Jae-yoon. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Okay, that was the... I couldn't remember her name. It was Shin Jae-yoon.
She's a Korean model. And as you can see, here's some of the pictures from her Instagram. She's got like over 500k followers on there, and you can find her at Instagram love_ZennyRT. This response, getting over 2,100 likes, versus Cream's 15 likes, says, "That's projection, dude. You're telling on yourself." And underlining where Cream had said, "Their faces looking like little girls." Cream then responded, getting 6 likes on his response, which reads, "That sounds like something someone who is hiding something would say. Yeah, buddy, projection. If it makes you feel better, I'm not the only one who thinks that too. And you know dang well, that is what they are going for. Stop playing yourself, even with the voices. However, there are some Asian games that have a great job showing sexy bodies with mature faces." Other people began to respond to Kareem saying, "You see little girls everywhere. That's a you issue."
Yeah, it kind of says a lot about yourself if you're trying to claim that you're seeing little girls.
Quoting him and saying, "Sadly, you are the only one who thinks that way. Either you're projecting or you're a racist." And PDF File is outing himself. Love posted this picture of Shin Jae-yoon and said, "Bruh, that's what the woman they hired to model for the character looks like. That's what Korean women look like. This is normal." To which Cream then also responded here saying, "Yeah, she is beautiful, and it's sad they had to enhance her and make it look nothing like her. Not only that they de-aged her character too much to where it looks like a kid with a mature body. This woman
again with the kid thing. Come on, dude.
Looks older, and they should have stayed true and respected her look." this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong with this guy? Lugden says,
oh, but by the way, it gets better. In terms of this guy, it gets fucking better. Believe me. It is. It's a can of worms that nobody wants to venture. But we're going to anyway. Because it's going to be a lot of fun.
nah, character looks awesome. Literally zero things wrong with designing a character this way. Your inability to tell the difference between children and adults while body shaming is concerning. You need to get out more and realize the Far West isn't the center of the universe.
So I gotta ask, like, because again, a lot of people are like really calling this guy out for projecting, like, because his whole thing is, oh, they made her look like a kid. Like, dude, like, and even though a lot of people are basically showing him evidence of, like, dude, do you not know what Asian women look like? I mean, they show the image of the model. It's like, this is what the model looks like. You're yeah, either, and even pointing out, like, you're either racist or you're something else. Oh my gosh.
Cream says, body shaming? You are clearly throwing random words with no backing at this point. How about this? Let's see how this game sells. And if it sells more than Pal World, then...
There's no... Okay. You get a George Takei for that bullshit.
You are made of stupid.
Okay. Pal World, at this point, is so beyond anything else. I mean, I haven't played it yet. I don't know. But there is no way any game at this point would outsell Pal World. There's no fucking way. Even Nintendo has been trying to shut them down because how popular that game has been.
I was wrong. What kind of comparison is that, man? This guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Look, Lugden says, enhanced de-age, kid with a mature body. You are clearly throwing random words with no backing at this point, like flipping it on him, and saying the complete denial of reality and insistence that foreign women somehow look like children to you is something people will rightfully clown on, and then also tagging myself and Rev there. So thanks again for that tag, and shouts out to Rev. Later on, Cream made this tweet saying, another shocking example. Shocking example. Okay, bro. Another shocking example of how the Stellar Blade's male character is scanned, looking like his real-life counterpart, but the poor female was enhanced and looks nothing like the real person she was scanned after.
Oh my gosh. Come on, dude.
I feel bad for her. This is not right. I feel bad for her just because, like, you're talking about her. You're freaking creepy, man.
He is.
This poor woman has to have this creep talking about her. It's very unfortunate. So get this. Ian Miles Chong actually responded to Kareem saying, game looks like trash, not gonna lie. And then
it's funny because that dude has had a lot of bad takes in terms of the gaming community.
Kareem is like, see, this is why I respect you. You call it how it is.
Yeah, but he has a lot of bad takes, dude. He said a lot of stupid shit in the past. Come on. Come on. Okay, no. You get it again.
You are made of stupid.
Yeah, no, you get it again.
This is especially hilarious because Ian is notorious on Twitter for making terrible takes. Like, this is a man who went viral months ago because he was complaining that players in Cyberpunk 2077 have the ability to attack police officers. So
I think you can. But it's like, what's the... Dude, your base... It's like... It's almost like... I hate to say it. It's almost like a GTA on that. Where if you get attacked, especially if it's like for no fucking reason, you're allowed to fight back.
you see him coming out of nowhere, like agreeing with Cream, and then Cream's like agreeing with him, and it just adds another layer of comedy to this entire situation. Going back to Cream's initial tweet, where he talked about how he sees grown women looking like little girls, Papa Ubu said, I love how you were the only one.
Can I just say I love that? For some reason, I just love that name for Twitter, Papa Ubu. That's actually really funny.
Thinking they look like little girls, giving off kind of PDF file vibes here.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I'm gonna give that...
Yes! Yes!
Because they're calling it as it is. Just flat out saying it. Like, dude, yeah, you're kind of giving off creepy vibes, dude.
Cream then said this. Not the only one. I'm realizing a lot of anime fans are attacking me for this.
It's not just anime fans, dude. It's gamers. Gamers that at this point do not give a shit what the character looks like. Only that they focus on, you know, gameplay and story. That's the main issues. Also, character and setting. That's it.
Which is weird, because this is about how they scanned someone and completely changed her. It's the same as scanning someone and making them ugly to fit an agenda.
Huh! I bet you if the character was like extremely obese, he'd be okay with it. And he'd probably like double down if somebody made that exact same. Yeah, instead of like being ugly, it's beautiful.
They made her too young, and you're weird. Ultraman then responded. Yeah, Ultraman, the very Ultraman here, the Ultraman himself said, changed her. They only gave her eye makeup, different haircut, and different eye color. They changed what? And again, if you want to take a look at that comparison picture, we'll leave it up on screen for a few seconds longer. And there we go. Papa Uwu also responding to Cream again, saying, Cream, please read into body shapes and types across countries. This is honestly ignorant and embarrassing. She does not look too young, and definitely not like a child. That's a grown woman. Vanner is saying, over 60k followers, not a single like. Even your followers disagree with you. And Pink Pants saying, literally 0 likes. Literally 0 likes. No one agrees with you on this. Even if you somehow find someone, you're still in the nasty, mega, hyper minority. Essentially non-existent. We'll end with this exchange, where Volps had said to Kareem, why do you hate Asian women? And Kareem then goes off, saying,
oh no.
That is a pretty big allegation, loser.
It kind of seems like that. It kind of seems like that.
I don't hate Asian women at all. Criticizing your computer-generated character for not looking like the real Asian woman means you hate Asian women and favor CGI over the real thing. I have dated many beautiful Asian women in my past.
Are you sure about that?
Something never you may experience. What is this dude saying, man? This dude's like so mad. He's not even talking straight anymore. Something you may never experience in your life. Maybe if you knew how to separate real women from a CG fantasy, you'd get a chance some real beautiful Asian women. But sadly, doesn't look like it. So go enjoy your pillow, dude.
I think. Oh, ha 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 ha.
Is actually trying to brag about the money he's made through Twitter Blue throughout all of these interactions, which amounts to probably like 10 cents. So, great job. Anyways, I just thought all of that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like that. I mean, that dude got ratioed like really badly, and he wants to try to claim victory in the dumbest way possible. But anyway, we're not even done because we still got another video, as well as other stuff to go over. Okay, so the next part that I want to go through is, again, this guy, Karim Giovanni, Jovian. Hopefully I said that correctly. Yeah, no, as an actor, director, he's a freaking YouTuber. And in terms of, I guess, after this whole situation, him being ridiculed immensely for his very, very bad take of this new game coming out, Stellar Blade, he made a video. A 7-minute video called New Yorkers React to Stellar Blade. Now, I'm going to be, this is the first time watching it, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. How much you want to bet the majority of the people, like, okay, again, because with some of these videos, it's cut, edited, so the mass majority are going to be people that agree with him. more than likely, or prove his point, so to speak. Anywho, let's go ahead and get, or if anything, he probably paid him off to say a certain thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
I think it's just men that's never touched a woman in their life not knowing what the f they look like. And so they're like, this is what women in my video games always looked like.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready! You are made of stupid.
That statement was dumb. And you gotta love this person just like, like, come on. That was dumb. That was such a dumb statement.
You are made of stupid.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade! She looks 14. And with the side ponytail too, girl. She needs a bow.
I bet you this is, again, a bunch of ignorant people that don't understand genetics, especially when it comes down to more of the Asian community, and they're just gonna assume she's, you know, a kid. And that's what this guy wants, too. This guy right here. Fucking Corinne. Or Karim.
It looks like she's 16. Oh, hell no. It looks nothing like her. It's like too...
It does. She just has makeup over here. She doesn't have makeup over here.
different people.
It's perfectly fine to have an animation style, especially in a game, but when...
Okay. You gotta love it when they say, oh, it's perfect. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me repeat that.
It's perfectly fine to have an animation style, especially in a game, but...
Okay, no, it should be cut off there. Like, no buts. It's perfect to have an animation style in a game. Especially when if you're the one that's the creator of the game, you should be allowed to create the game that you want to create.
When you're appropriating someone else's image and then change...
It's not appropriating. Oh my gosh, it's... Okay, I feel like I'm gonna be pressing my buttons periodically in this.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Oh my gosh. And again, it's a bunch of people that aren't gonna know the full context. And they're just gonna give their opinion. It's like, dude, no, it's not appropriating. It's not like a white, it's like, and I love it. It's like, I love that statement where if especially for people that want to celebrate a different culture than theirs, all of a sudden it's appropriation. Like, come on, fuck off. Like, seriously. And then not only that, but again, with them not having the full context, knowing that not only is it a Korean company making the game, but also the model is Korean that they used to create the character. And it's like, dude, no, it's not appropriation. It's not. So this statement is so fucking stupid.
Changing it becomes an issue.
I'm gonna show you
It's not even an issue, dude. Because, again, you don't know the full context.
an image, and you tell me what you think when you look at this image, okay?
This guy, by the way, look at this guy. He's so fucking smug. He is.
Smash.
Yeah.
She's so pretty, man.
Yeah, she's very pretty, yeah.
Would date, yeah.
She definitely is beautiful. How old do you think she is?
23?
Okay, at least we got a couple people saying...
Yeah, like 20,
Early
23.
20s,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
She's 32.
Oh, wow. She looks good for 32.
We need her skincare routine,
Yeah,
actually.
Okay, I appreciate that a little bit. I kind of appreciate that a little bit. They aren't like going, oh, she's like 16. This guy, he's probably like, well, they aren't doing what I want them to do. I want them to say she's 16.
Yeah.
This is the woman right here. When you first look at her, what do you think?
She's a woman. She looks nice.
I like her top.
She's really pretty.
It's just a beautiful Asian woman. Yeah.
Immaculate. Like, the outfit is actually really cute. I like that. Yeah.
How old do you think she is?
Oh.
I would say like 22, 23.
I want to say 22, 23.
Oh. Oh, this is interesting.
But I feel like she's 17.
Okay, there, never mind.
That's not what you do that to us, right?
No, she's 32.
32?
Oh.
I'm going to show you now a character that is based off of her to look like her in a video game.
I don't think it looks like her. I don't think it's based off of
Well, she has makeup. That's why.
her. I think they kind of missed the mark. She looks 14. And with the side ponytail too, girl. She needs a bow. She needs a little bow, and she's on her way to middle school. I just don't get her at all. Like, that nose
The nose is very different.
Yeah, that nose.
I can't. Like, I'm gonna have a headache watching this. Like,
Definitely not Asian.
yeah, that's Korean.
She's Asian. They took a white woman and supplemented some white woman DNA into this girl to make her look.
Oh my. You are made of stupid.
A little more white, because that is not what I just saw. She just looks bland to me.
How old do you think this character looks?
A lot younger. I don't know, like they took away like what was unique about her.
I think she was pretty beautiful as she was. This just looks different. It doesn't. I want to say
fake. Like it doesn't look like a. I don't like the first photo. Was like that's a natural person. That's what people.
Well, you hadn't. Yeah, that. What does that compare? Like, well, of course it's gonna look fake, dude. It's a freaking. It's a freaking character for a game. Are you serious? Come on. One, you have an actual photo. The next, you have an a freaking CGI character. That's computer generated. Come on.
People look like, whereas this is like it's obviously edited. It's obviously not.
Yeah, because it's a freaking CGI
character. You see walking down the street.
That's kind of messed up to think that that's like what you consider beautiful versus the original picture of the girl. I feel like just say that's a totally different character than the original. Why say that it's based off of her when it's somebody completely different, you know?
Yeah.
You enlarge the eyes, you change her to make her look younger, and that's supposed to be the standard of beauty. Is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Beauty standards are totally artificial, but it doesn't help anybody when you make them impossible. It's
not impossible. For a lot of people, it's in terms of beauty, it's possible if you put the work in. I said that in my last video, and unfortunately, we have in this current generation, we have this stigma where if you are beautiful, like at this point, if you're beautiful, if you're fit, if you are taking care of yourself, then you're bad. That seems to be the stigma for a lot of people.
It's perfectly fine to have an animation style, especially in a game. But when you're appropriating someone else's image,
it's not
and then
appropriating.
changing it becomes an issue.
It's not appropriating.
It looks nothing like her. It's like two different people. It's not the same person. I mean, her eyes obviously are way bigger in the computer generated one. Like her lips, her face is like a V shape. It's like a whole it's not even the same person anymore.
I don't think it looks like her at all.
Her eyes
It's
definitely look bigger.
Yeah, her eyes bigger.
And
nose
her
is definitely
face
smaller.
Shape, they made her face look just a lot different.
More
yeah.
of like
Yeah.
a V shape, right?
Yeah, definitely more like heart shape. Whereas before she had quite like a full cheeks, and that was like part of her beauty. But they've just completely
they've
erased
taken
it.
it away.
If they're trying to say that it's her, I don't think it is. It doesn't quite fit her. Her face shape at all.
Yeah, I think that's not right at all. I mean, you don't need to change somebody if somebody's already beautiful like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't-
100%.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't agree with making her look better as such, but I don't think that's an accurate portrayal of what she looked like at all.
Yeah.
There's already so much whitewashing in culture that they're just doing it more, and it's not.
It's not even whitewashing. Oh my gosh.
You are made of stupid.
Again, it's a Korean company fucking making the game. Come on. I hate videos like this where, especially, again, this guy in the corner right now, is so fucking smug. He's getting some of the answers he wants. And by the way, I'm gonna look at the comments because I want to share some of the comments because people are basically roasting this fucker for being disingenuous.
Not fair.
It definitely happens a lot in England as well. Like people don't really mention it as much, but it's a big thing in England.
Very much
yeah,
so,
it's
yeah.
bad.
Now let me show you what they did to her body.
I'm scared. Oh my god! Oh my god! I don't know what this is like an awful runway, and then these are just ass shots. It's just completely it's her OnlyFans.
Yeah. It's like OnlyFans the game.
Yes, but her booty does look good though.
Oh hell nah. Yo, nah, that's a lot. That's a over sexualized. A lot. Like this is all I see is ass.
Now let me show you what they did to her body and tell me what you think.
Oh, it just like completely sexualized her. Doesn't.
You know what? It just dawned on me. It just dawned on me what their opinion would be if this guy brought up the fact that the character was based off an actual model and sharing some of her photos. I'm like very curious about that. Because if anything, I'm partially wondering if they would still have the same opinion, or if it was like, oh wait, no, it's she's already a model, she's already doing stuff like this. Okay, that's her own prerogative or something like that. I don't know. You never know with these, but again, with situations like this, and again, I feel like this guy got so butthurt with how much he got ratioed. He's doing this just out of spite because he did not get the reply that he wanted.
Seemed like those were her proportions from the first picture you showed. It kind of normalizes changing people's figures, I think, more than for young.
I find that funny. I really find that funny when let me ask you something, because there was actually an image that I wanted to share where, and I still plan on doing it, where people like talk about normalizing changing people's figures. Is it okay? So this is bad. This is another of like, is this bad or is this bad? Where so creating a character for a game and making them the way you want to, however you want to, is a bad thing, especially if the character is attractive. But going out of your way to make a photoshopped, obese version of the character, or like claiming that this is a better like body type, that's okay. Wouldn't that be classified as trying to normalizing changing people's body types? I ask you, is that the same thing? Because you had certain organizations, including individuals like freaking Anita Sarkeesian and the many people of like feminist frequency that were trying to normalize and shame people's body types. It's just a double standard. It really is.
Younger women, I think for creators, it normalizes that you can alter someone's image as much as you want to and say, oh, it's based off this character, but then show someone completely different.
I don't like how we just take people and like make them unrealistic or like make it to a point where like,
it's
there might be someone who does have that kind of proportion and just use.
Again, you just made the point. No, it's not unrealistic because there are people that have those proportions. There was a story a while back about a woman who was so inspired by Chun-Li, from Street Fighter, that she went through a very strict regiment to make herself actually built like Chun-Li. And it is, I will say, again, in terms of the body types that you want, in a lot of cases, it's not impossible. It just is a lot of work. And if you put enough work into yourself, then in some sense, it is obtainable.
That person rather than changing.
It's just not the girl, the first girl. Like, why?
Oh, so
That
they
is
just
outrageous.
sexualized her completely, basically.
That's so not on.
No.
That's not on.
It's her choice if she wants something like that, but the fact that they've just sort of taken it and ran with sexualization just isn't.
Yeah, this is they're talking about the model for the character, or the design for the character was based off a model.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
No, I mean, there's a lot of sexualization of Asian women specifically, and that's crazy.
In England, stuff like that wouldn't really happen.
It
like
wouldn't
the
fly.
sexual, no, yeah. In
No.
England, we would.
Yeah, that's England. I mean, in terms of, characters and how they dress, yeah, you're based, again, apples to oranges. You're comparing England standards to what would be the standards of a place like Japan or North Korea and so on. Different countries, different standards.
Wouldn't have it. We don't need to sexualize someone that much for a video game. Like, a video game should focus on the plot, the graphics, how good the storyline is, but it's just, we don't need a woman to be fake like that. It's not right.
It's not right. If you're working on the physics of the way her body moves rather than the physics of the actual game, which you can see in there does not look great, that's how you know that you've messed up.
Jesus. Seems like they're over-sexualizing her.
Yeah, definitely over-sexualizing her. I get that, a lot of animations are of similar artistic styles, but
Doing too much.
yeah, doing too much.
Doing too
Very
much.
dramatic.
I totally agree. I think it's a big issue. I think beauty standards have been a big issue for a little while, and you'd hope to see some progress. Guess it's a little disappointing.
First of all,
There hasn't been any, whatever.
it's a bias of the creator, so whoever made the animations obviously has a vision of what they find beautiful.
It's a little.
That was the point made by the creator. And guess what? Again, it's their game. They should be allowed to create the characters that they want to create.
Too much, but then again, like, it's a game.
Thank you! Yo! No, I want to repeat that. Okay, no. One of the few things that has been correct said by some of these people.
Too much, but then again, like, it's a game.
Again, it's a fucking game. It's not realistic. Do you really think that in terms of, how the character looks in the game is, because I hate this, that it goes back to these false freaking reports and theories and tests made by bogus scientists that try to claim that video games cause men to be violent, sexist, and homophobic. Even people like Anita Sarkeesian and many others, including the activists of IGN and many other gaming journalists, have tried to push that narrative. When that is not the case, a game cannot cause you to be violent. A game cannot cause you to be a sexist. A game cannot cause you to be a freaking homophobe. It cannot. Anything that is in those situations were there prior. And even then, again, with other than what has been prior to certain individuals, which again, you can't trump every man for what one idiot does, by the way. Ultimately, in terms of this stuff, it's a fucking game. If this was the case where, a certain form of media caused a person to be a sexist, a racist, and a homophobe, then at this point, we should be banning video games. We should be banning television. We should be banning media, for that matter, as well as books and music. then and actually, if anything, we probably would end up banning art, because you see certain you see older paintings where the female body is exposed, and people are like, "Oh, that painting's sexist." When again, in terms of art, in terms of media, it's not always for the same person. It's not always. It's not for a collective, and I think at this point, companies need to, especially like the activists, the fucking the journos, the activists, need to stop trying to trump everyone together. Stop trying to make it seem like, oh, it needs to be for everybody. Everybody is allowed to play video games, but not everybody has to like it. I mean, so far over the last few years, people have been, especially certain groups, have been, making this argument where, well, if you don't like a game, if you don't like the, that we're trying to do this, then you can stop playing. And gee, and didn't that backfire for most of them?
So if you were to change something about this,
I don't want her to look like she was robbed from a cradle. I want.
You are made of stupid.
That was so dumb.
Her to look Asian. Right. Like
she is. Oh my god, dude! How many times do I press this button?
You are made of stupid.
Oh, I'm losing my mind because this is so stupid.
Give her proper features.
Yeah, she has so much makeup on too. It's insane.
Yeah, maybe if you take off the makeup, guess what? She's gonna look like the person that in the first picture. Oh my gosh.
And the amount of makeup. Those are her lashes. She has falsies on to the T. She's heavily makeup, but she has like the hair of a 13-year-old. Yeah. So what are we?
What the fuck does that mean? The hair of a 13? Come on. Stop. Please. Just stop. What does that fucking mean? That certain people can't have a certain hairstyle? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? That's dumb.
What are we doing here? What's the plot? But you know what?
Stellar Blade.
Oh, you know what? That's the title of a game that would do this.
You're gonna end it with these two, huh? That you're definitely gonna end it. This guy is so fucking smug. This guy's a fucking.
The title of a game that would do this.
Whitewashing.
Oh, Netflixing.
It's not even whitewashing.
I think it's just men that's never touched a woman in their life, not knowing what the they look like. And so.
Okay, no, it's like a repeat of the fucking beginning. Yeah, no, you're one more time.
You are made of stupid.
Okay, now I want to quickly look at the freaking comments, because this was interesting. So a lot of people like really kind of pushing it. One person saying, get massively ratioed on Twitter and YouTube. I'm starting to think that was the goal, get more people interested in the game. The amount of notoriety this game is getting means even bad press is good press. If he is unironically trying to smear the game with this, then I will pity his inmate lack of self-awareness. You managed to find most annoying, delusional people in whole New York. That takes some skill. Funny how not a single person in this video has any sex appeal whatsoever. I'm not going to comment on that one. And mostly because, I mean, look at me. As I stated in the last video, I'm a little bit of a chubby. But at this point, that gives me a little bit of a pass to say some of the things that I can say. So, anyway. I just want everyone to get along and no one getting hurt. Karim. These people might be perverts or criminals, and I will accuse them of such. Also, Karim. They scanned her body. The face was original creation. The studio already said this in an interview. A racist finds a bunch of other racists. Color me surprised. Thank you, green-haired woman, for telling me what isn't real. Yeah, that nose is definitely not Asian. Literal ogre. This makes me want to play the game even more. This is genuinely pathetic as it is, but when you realize he's a part of the whole console war nonsense, it's even more pathetic. And by the way, this is all comments, by the way, guys. All you've shown me is that what they said about black people being racist towards Asians is true. As an Asian, I find this video very racist towards Asian people. This whole interview is kind of pointless because the developer stated that the body of Eve is modeled after the model Shin Jae-eun, and not the face. The face was modeled by hand in-house. I keep forgetting about that. But, I mean, regardless, the character still looks good. As someone living near New York City and being there a ton, I can safely say that New York is full of some of the most insufferable people, insufferable I've ever met in my life. That nose is not Asian. What the fuck? I hope more people buy Stellar Blade than Starfield. Those women could turn a straight man gay. The fact he thinks this proves his argument is sad. I went out asking 100 people and cherry-picked answers that fit my narrative. Anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together can see what you're doing here. Not to mention the bias when you ask someone if you can film them for a video, then show them this photo. I think it's leading. Just accept that you're wrong. Public opinion differs from your own. And move on with an L. So that is, I mean, again, like, this is just nonstop people shitting on this guy for being a disingenuous fucking just, oh my gosh. And then to top it off, I want to show this guy's channel because I was very curious about it.
Who do you think is more dangerous?
Definitely this guy. I don't like the beard.
So, looking at this, so on this channel we explore the world, people, and social issues through various forms of videos, from man on the street interviews to social experiments. This channel strives to deliver high quality content that can stand the test of time. So when you watch it years from now, it would still be relevant, bringing out emotions for many viewers to come. I hope you enjoy my channel. Okay. So, New Yorkers react to Dan Schneider. Americans react to Islam. How safe is it for women in New York? Latino reacts to white woman winning Miss Japan. Americans react to Iranian woman winning Miss German. Americans react to white woman winning Miss Japan. Didn't they already do something like that over there? YouTubers dealing with anxiety disorder. Watch this. Donald Trump banned from New York. Asking New Yorkers, Xbox or PlayStation. We already watched that one. My father... Oh, okay, I'm not going to touch that one, because if that's really true, then I'm sorry. Israel says we should give their land back. Man goes off on religion, and then this happens. Jewish man walks in Arab neighborhood, and this happens. Women react to Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul. Jewish men's message to the world. We're ready for Starfield. Logan Paul or Dylan Dennis. Yeah, you already did a video like that. Why do it again? That makes no sense. So, in terms of that particular video, again, I personally think, especially with that individual, the Karim guy, it was basically his way of showing how butthurt he was about, you know, people very, very critically calling him out for some of his statements in terms of the game. And in terms of videos like that, the people watching or people that are being interviewed are not going to get the full context of the game. So people who have never heard of the game before, or the studio, or the people involved, are just going to assume, you know, certain things. And as I said before, this video was cut and edited, so I would have to guess there were more people that had a better opinion than the ones that he showcased. And those individuals were left out of the video because they did not fit his narrative. Speaking of narratives, if you guys could see on you know, the corner, is an image of what somebody posted as an example of what IGN wants for the design for Eve in Stellar Blade. I mean, sure, it's a joke. But in the sense, and especially with, you know, companies like Microsoft, again, doing this whole inclusion thing, it seems like it's not that far-fetched as to, like, what some of the standards that companies like Microsoft, IGN, you know, and many others want in terms of characters. And by the way, designs for characters that would not fit the scenarios or the gameplay for the characters that you're supposed to be playing for some of these games. It doesn't. It's an unfortunate fact, but that is, you know, fact. And oh my gosh, it gets better from here in terms of, like, this whole controversy. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Now, going forward, we have this next thing. Fans defend Stellar Blade director Hyun Tae Kim after controversy around Eve's body that is based on Korean model Shin Jae-un. So, for the summary, or at least, let's say, the article, Shift Up Stellar Blade, it has been a trending topic among games since it was first confirmed in 2023. Fans have been waiting for quite some time for this title, which is finally slated for April 26, 2024. Along with various interesting aspects about the action-adventure game, one of the most discussed aspect was the design of the protagonist. Numerous trailers and screenshots of the game prominently showcase on Eve, the protagonist. The developers revealed that Stellar Blade's protagonist Eve is actually designed after a real-life South Korean model, which I got that wrong. I said North Korean at one point, and then I started saying Korean. But anyways, she's South Korean. Stellar Blade's Eve is based on a Korean model. Shift Up admitted that the physical features of Eve are based on the North Korean model Shin Jae-eun in this PlayStation 5 exclusive title. They also said that during the creator designing, special attention was given to Eve's backside, since that is what players would be watching the most while playing the game. Stellar Blade's director, Hyun Tae Kim, while taking a push square confirmed, yes, we did base the character of Eve on the model Shin Ji-yoon, but we thought that her body shape would be good, or a good reference for the character that we were pursuing. But the face was created originally in-house. It's just the body of the model that is scanned for the game. Alright, the director was further asked why the team decided to settle with Jae-eun, to which he said, of course, it depends on how you define beautiful bodies. If for you, sorry. But for us, we wanted to come up with the most attractive looking body for the user. Okay, hold on. I screwed up. But for us, we wanted to come up with the most attractive body, or looking body, for the user. This is why we made the decision to work with her. Shift Up is known for focusing on physical appearances of its characters. One of the most significant examples is Goddess of Victory, Nikkei. Hopefully I said that correctly. The third-person shooter game showcased various anime-style ladies in eye-catching outfits. Alright. Stellar Blade's dev know they're punishing the horniest players with secret feature. The director has also revealed that players will be able to dress up Eve in 30 different costumes. Each of these is attainable after completing certain objectives or side quests. The protagonist can also be further customized with different hairstyles and accessories, including glasses and earrings. Fans defend the makers. Recently, while reporting about the character, IGN France reportedly wrote, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland, and that it was a doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman. The statement obviously did not go well with fans. Well, it didn't go well with everybody, especially with, the creator. A user named Permaband posted a tweet criticizing the reporter, saying, no, can we just call them what they are? They're activists. They're not reporters. Permaband. BIGN France tries to trash Stellar Blade and says Shift's Up CEO has never seen a woman. Meanwhile, Shift's Up CEO actually married over 10 years, and his wife is a prolific artist. Game journals not only can't help but talk trash, they can't help being factually wrong too. And at this point, that's usually what it is for IGN. Several users supported Permaband, expressing their disbelief over such statement. Another person wrote, not to mention the character is an exact copy of the model. An attractive woman. From Clyde Dante, They do this because they hate themselves and have their own issues that they refuse to work out, so they take it out on others and projects. Stellar Blade is already being compared to one of Hidetaka Miyazaki's best Souls-likes, thanks to its boss fights. Another user, Burst, rightly pointed out that sexualizing female characters is pretty common in anime, and that it's creepy men who draw them is incorrect. So looking at them, okay. Also, when will people realize that a lot of artists who draw hot anime or animu girls are themselves female? The idea that only creepy men like/draw hot girls is just blatantly wrong. I don't know what's popping up. I'm going to pull that back there. Looks like IGN's commentary seemed way too judgmental. Several users even took a dig at the publishing site, claiming that they do not trust IGN anymore. So... and that is the end of that particular thing. But that, you know what, I will say this, that last comment, I mean, they're not wrong. It's not just men that draws, particular characters in terms of beauty and what they look like. It's not just men that, if you're going to claim sexualizing a character, it's not just men that do it. You realize that, right? I always find it funny when they try to trump men as the ones that are doing this. It's not just men doing it. But in terms of, again, and this is going back to, it's a different culture as well, where, characters are designed a certain way compared to the US or any other, location around the world. So in these little, in terms of like some of these arguments that IGN are making, and as well as the stupid comments that they made, I would say it almost serves them right for getting called out. Because, again, places like IGN at this point, they are not journalists, they are activists. Because instead of actually reporting on the important things about the games that they're supposed to be talking about, they report on their feelings. Nothing more, nothing less. So, alright. I will say, like, with everything, like, going to the last part of this video, I want to kind of end it on a high note. This video, I mean, we've gone back and forth with people who agree with some of the design choices for Stellar Blade, and some people that didn't, that are blatantly either being kind of offensive or being very, very disingenuous about what they say or what kind of arguments they make. But in terms of this video, again, I want to try to end it on a high note. There was a content, or not, I don't want to say content creator, but a person on Twitter /X that posted a very long feed about this game. And I think it says a lot about what a lot of people are thinking. Okay, so this is a long tweet /post from a person or account by @Reno the Bouncer, giving their thoughts on the game. So, thoughts. Genuinely disappointed, but not surprised by the recent comments about Stellar Blade demo and its protagonist, Eve, being a X-doll, who is made by someone who has never seen a living woman. This talking point of never seeing a living woman has been tossed around a lot in the industry to gaslight people into thinking there's nothing wrong with them for appreciating, there's something wrong with them for appreciating a character that doesn't fit one archetype of woman often portrayed in Western media. I'm inclined to ask, have you seen an actual living woman? Have you seen recent music videos? Have you looked at TikTok, Instagram, real life gyms, parties, or walked in any streets? Have you seen what actual real life women and men do to make themselves look pretty and attractive? All these implants, veneers, Hollywood smiles, skincare products, makeup, and this applies for both male and men, or women and men. People have been doing wonders to make themselves look more appealing. And you know what? It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that they lack any meaning of value or value. It doesn't mean looks are all that have to offer. It just means people care about their own image and looks. So again, have you seen a real woman? What makes you the arbiter on what should a real woman look like? What makes the modern Western view of what a woman should look like to be the unified object measure of self-worth? You may argue, but game character isn't real, and I say it's irrelevant. When a singer does it, it's empowering. So why can't a video game character be empowering in the same way? You may say video game female characters are crafted for the male gaze. And do you think superstars have been crafted for sorry. This, I would say, like, what he's saying, it makes sense. And what do you think superstars have been crafted for by their producers, directors, and photographers? Last time I checked, it's wrong to judge people by their looks, especially women, and deeming them as a X-doll, and refusing to see past their looks is a form of slut-shaming and is misogynistic. So, when will journalists confront their own misogyny? When will they hold themselves accountable for the way they slut-shame younger audiences or into stripping themselves of their beauty just so they can fit in with their approved archetype? I'm not a pro or against traditional beautiful characters. More often than not, I play as characters that I aspire to look like, be as strong as, or enjoy their story and writing, or value as an overall package. But it's about time we stopped gaslighting people into thinking there's something wrong with them for liking one or the other, or that they haven't seen / touched a real person, because the way I say it, those who make these comments seem to be the ones who haven't. You know, I gotta say this, like, in terms of his comment right there, I got... Because, I mean, for a lot of gamers, a lot of characters, again, a lot of gamers who are basically, who don't give a shit what the character looks like at this point, and just value a good game, This is exactly what we're thinking. And it again, and kind of quoting what he just said, it begs the question of if this is actually the male gamers issue, or is this an issue with the journalists, the activists, who want to claim that men are pigs because they, or at least, and by the way, it's not just men at this point, it's men and women for defending the right of the developers for creating a game and creating a character that they want to create. At this point, it has been a constant battle between the consumer and the I would say at this point, the consumer and the journalist. Because the developers, they want to create the games they want to create, but are forced to follow this stigma that they are basically kind of, I want to say almost forced and bullied into. Because certain people in certain groups want to claim or try to set it up that if you don't follow our regiment, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, or you're a sexist. This type of behavior needs to stop. Like I said, there has been a continuous infighting between consumers and journalists because at this point, the journalists who are supposed to be, especially when it comes down to media, in terms of like what they're supposed to be talking about, video games, movies, etc., instead of actually talking about the movie that they're, or the video game that they're supposed to be talking about, they talk about, oh, this character has a very tight top. Let's waste, our time and make money just ranting and raving over this one costume choice for a character. What are they paying you for? Like, seriously. In terms of, like, the activists of IGN, or, like, the other activists of other gaming journalists that play this fucking rhetoric. What is your purpose? And here's a bigger question, especially since, this is supposed to be gaming journalism. Are you actually playing the games that you guys are actually supposed to be reviewing or talking about? Or, again, do you just look at an image and waste everyone's time writing a hit piece? It needs, if you're gonna, and it doesn't help too that it's, by the way, been verified numerous times that in higher ups in the journalist community, or the journalist station or companies, people who are claiming to be journalists are paid off to write a certain way as well. We want you to talk nice about my game. Here's a free gift. People like content creators have reported on it. Angry Joe has discussed how in some of the game awards, journalists have been given gifts just to write a certain way to appease, certain developers or certain companies and make certain topics seem favorable. The idea that we should listen to a gaming journalist at this point about what's good and what's bad about a video game, honestly, is questionable. At this point, especially when a game comes out, it should be up to the consumers to determine what they want to play and what they want to spend their money on. I, for one, I like the gameplay. I like the story. The character itself was how they look. That was basically the last thing on my fucking mind. Only that, okay, the gameplay is fast-paced, and at that point, you know, learning the controls. Because knowing me, I am terrible sometimes with games. But I still play them because they're fun. So, ultimately, I personally am going to buy the game. Not because of Eve, but because playing the demo, I like the gameplay, and I like the setup so far. This whole post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, action-adventure, hack and slash. That's why I'm buying it. I could give two shits what Eve looked like. So, in terms of my final thoughts, this whole thing where there has to be a certain checklist for what a character looks like, and we have to follow it, or at least game developers have to follow it. At this point, companies like Microsoft, Sony, and many others that help develop these games or produce these games need to stay out of that shit. It's up to the companies that create the games, that design the games, that determine what their characters look like. And to throw the same line that many other people on certain communities have thrown at other people that didn't like a game that was actually really bad. If you don't like it, if you don't like a certain aspect of the game, don't play it and don't buy it. But anyways, that's it for me. This has been a very, very long video. And trust me when I say this, especially when during this, and especially with me having to go back and forth with transitions, I was dealing with allergies, so I have to do a lot of editing with this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my video and enjoyed some of my commentary on some of the things that I brought up in this. If you guys have anything you'd like to add, leave in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Follow us on our social. It's all in the description. As well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I'll see you guys next video.